of what we do here on this program. We look through the headlines from our major dailies, and if you are ready, we are as well. Good morning. All right, and we kickstart with the Guardian for today. The Guardian newspaper. 5 years on, poor funding, capacity hobble Amotekun's mandate in Southwest. 5 years on, poor funding, capacity hobble Amotekun's mandate in the Southwest. You can see the governance of the state, Dapo Abiodun of Ogun State, his counterpart in Oyo, Engineer Seyi Makinde, the governor of Ekiti State, Abiodun Oyebanji, and then in Ondo State, you have Lucky Orimisan Aiyedatiwa. Of course, the state of the living spring, you have Governor Ademola Adeleke, and of course, they are the ones at the helm of affairs of the state. And the Guardian is saying, after 5 years, poor funding, capacity, has hobbled or is hobbling Amotekun's mandate in the Southwest. Who are the Amotekun? They are the Western Security Network, Western Nigeria Security Network, who named Amotekun. And by the way, it's what it is right now. Tinubu, okay, 65 years retirement age for health workers. That extension of the service year from 60 to 65. Tinubu, okay, 65 years retirement age for health workers. And federal government eyes diversification, infrastructure, security in 4.53 trillion naira review of 2025 budget. Again, federal government eyes diversification, infrastructure, security in 4.53 trillion naira review of 2025 budget. And by the way, we learned there is an upward review again from 49.7
trillion to 54.
Right. So why is that move? Why is this happening at this time? What are those exigencies that has made the president to, speak to the National Assembly to say there will be an upward review? And by the way, if time permits us, we'll look into that in the course of the program. And PDP trustees move meeting to hotel over security concerns. What the thing is, who will save PDP from PDP?
Really, who will save PDP?
PDP trustees move if the BOT cannot have their meetings at their office because they fear for their lives, according to them, because of security concerns. So it speaks much of that party.
It does. It really does.
And the last BOT meeting was when that fisticuff happened.
Yeah.
Deo Okoye and the other guy.
Anyanwu, yeah.
Yeah, Mr. Anyanwu. PDP trustees move meeting to hotel over security concerns. You can see the picture of the BOT chairman there at Ofos, Wabara. And Dangote begins fuel export to Saudi Arabia, pushes capacity to 550,000 barrels per day. Dangote begins fuel export to Saudi Arabia, pushes capacity to 550,000 barrels per day. And federal government, by the way, that should be a plus that an indigenous company is exporting fuel. By the way, product in this case, fuel.
Yeah.
And but then
people would say,
what's going on.
Right.
No, let's go there.
Right.
Because
won't go there.
Normally, people will say, do we have enough? But then it's a private company.
Yeah, it is a private company.
Money must be made.
Definitely.
Right. Federal government, WFP, invest 1.2 billion naira, then $2.5 billion to tackle hunger and nutrition. All right. That it is. And next, Nigeria's output growth may slip to 0.8%, says report. Nigeria's output growth may slip to 0.8%, says report. And bottom strip, O&O reward shareholders with 1.28 billion shares. And that will, from Ogun State, suspended Ogun Monarch, remanded in correctional center over assault. So much for that man, because a monarch is, in Yoruba, they will say, Oriade doesn't sleep outside. If you know what I say, Oriade, but this Oriade is not just Suntao. The Oriade is in jail.
Like, it's actually something else.
But it's not because somebody hated him. It's because of that sad incident in which he behaved in a manner not expected
of him,
a royal father.
Some persons will say it's his doing, so
it's what?
It's his doing.
Yeah,
so he has to live with it for now.
He behaved in a manner that looked like that of a motorboy lout. Yeah, that's the kind of place you see that kind of a behavior. Or somebody somewhere. But then I think everybody should take caution.
Yeah, and everyone should take caution and
even if you are venting, and you are like rightly angry, there should still be caution.
Yeah,
especially when you are a person of influence. And people usually say that before you say something, just count 1 to 100. Probably the tension, the anger would have calmed down before. So much aspire to Maguire.
Well, it works to an extent. I do it. So it
does work.
Yeah. So
I'm just saying that's the right thing to do.
Yeah.
Right? Before
some persons
vent.
feel like I need to pour this thing. If I don't do it now, when you finish saying it, sometimes sometimes you start regretting what you have done. And
because of ego, sometimes you don't go back to that person and say, I apologize.
I'm sorry, for
doing too much. But in this case, it wasn't more like the man was angry. It was more like anger with ego, with this sense of, I can do anything to you now. Because that was in that viral video, unfortunate video, he said, you will die, we will bury you. Nobody will know. Nobody will ask me. The man even said, I have Nigerian police in my hands. We are the one who own Nigerian police. Now we want to never actually demand. And this is not mockery of him.
No, it's not
knowing
mockery.
That nobody should be above the law. Normally, nobody is above the law. But then in Nigeria, nobody should be above the law. So this time last week or last 2 weeks, he wouldn't have known that Oriade will be in jail, languishing, because he was given a bail, so to speak, I think, but then he's still there.
He's still
so
there,
he has not been able to perfect his bail. And that should be, many Nigerians will say, I hope this is extended to political figures as well. There was a guy who slapped an Uber rider. Last year. And he was, after much noise, he was arraigned and all of those things, given bail. The guy is talking, he spoke recently and he said, the guy is his friend now. And then that incident has made him popular, And
sort of things
for him, that's a takeaway from that thing. He's now more popular. And then he's my guy. We are now friends. And all of a sudden, Nigerians will feel these are the kind of people you should make scapegoat of.
Of course.
So that everybody will
that was what Nigerians actually were expecting of that incident that happened last year, But as usual, political officers sort of have a different kind of power. Just like this traditional ruler, abusing your power or being intoxicated by the fact that you can control such amount of power. It doesn't go anywhere. It doesn't help anybody.
Doesn't help anybody, actually.
So I hope this serves as a deterrent to others outside, and like you said,
individual.
It should be passed. It should go round. No matter who is involved.
That's it. And by the way, did you know that guy that was slapped and abused by the honorable, by the rep member, because nothing is honorable about that man. By the way, he later apologized.
Yeah.
He apologized and all of those things. And nobody needs to tell you what has happened.
Of course, we know what has happened behind the scene. You
are the one who has just said that. That would be all from The Guardian for today.
Okay, and move straight to the Nigerian Tribune. We have Like governors, PDP Board of Trustees endorsed Ude Okoye as National Secretary. Like governors, PDP Board of Trustees endorses Ude Okoye as National Secretary. And we have the writers there want him sworn in immediately. It's an invitation to anarchy. Anyanwu. Okay. An invitation to anarchy. I mean, this is what you're talking about, the law. You are in an organization and you have rules, you have code of conduct, you have things that you must abide by. Now, the Board of Trustees responsible for holding this party together, for passing laws, for making laws and everything, has come out to say this person is the secretary and should be sworn in immediately. And you're saying it's an invitation to anarchy. How? Like, we really need to upgrade our level of thinking in Nigeria, truthfully.
All right.
It's PDP. Only God knows who will save them, though, like you said. So we have Tinubu approved 65 years retirement age for doctors, healthcare workers. Tinubu approves 65 years retirement age for doctors, healthcare workers. I would say somehow it's a good thing, but is this what they actually want? Is this the first thing on their list for what they have been agitating for?
Right.
Increasing the age retirement from 60 to 65 doesn't change that the person is not comfortable. The person's remuneration is not good enough for him or her or to cater for his family. Some persons will say, like something I saw in the public space, to say it's just increasing the years of bondage. And I'm like, Nigerians, we just have a way of always turning things to make people will say, if you're sad in this country, just have data. Go online and you'll just be relieved.
Yeah.
So we have declare Ondo oil producing coastal communities disaster zone. Reps tell federal government. Declare Ondo oil producing coastal communities disaster zone. Reps tell federal government. Suspended Ogun monarch fails to meet bail conditions. Remanded in Ilaro prison. Okay. And we have a picture there from left. We have Oyo State Governor Seyi Makinde, Minister of Federal Capital Territory Nyesom Wike, former Governor of Benue State Samuel Otom, and former Governor of Abia State Dr. Kezie Azo during a condolence visit to Governor Makinde in his house over the death of his brother, Engineer Sunday Makinde, on Wednesday. Tinubu writes Senate 6 increase of 2025 budget to 54.2 trillion naira. And the writer that we have 4.5 trillion naira additional revenue will support economic diversification. Budget Minister. Okay. I think during the course of the program we'll have to. I think we'll talk about this, so stay tuned. CBN restricts BDCs to one dealer bank per week for $25,000 FX purchase. CBN restricts BDCs to one dealer bank per week for $25,000 FX purchase. And the top strip of the Nigerian Tribune, we have fire kills 17 children, injures 16 others in Zamfara Amajiwi school. It's a sad one, really, really a sad one. Fire kills 17 children, injures 16 others in Zamfara Amajiwi school. When I saw this yesterday, I was like, what is it with explosions now? What is really happening? Now, this is 17 children, future leaders of tomorrow.
Yeah, dead.
All gone. And we still have scores of them injured.
Right.
Now, what is the problem in Nigeria? Like this year, we've had scores of explosions around the nation. We need to work on certain things in this country, truthfully. We really need to. We have government, the last story in the Nigerian Tribune this morning, we have government officials paid 100% for same hospital project 5 times without construction. ICPC boss. Government officials paid 100% for same hospital project 5 times without construction. ICPC boss. Now, this is the Independent Corrupt Practices Corruption Commission of Nigeria talking about this now. It's corruption, definitely. How can you pay 100% 5 times? You've paid for a particular project 5 times.
Yeah.
And, you know, what we discussed yesterday, we said our Senate, if our Senate can only be independent, I said the Senate, the House of Assembly can only be independent, will go a long way, actually.
Yeah.
Because these things, this sort of person should be called to order. They should be called to answer what is happening here. Now we're complaining about the health infrastructure, the health sector, the infrastructure there. And they're saying this project has been issued out 5 times, yet, and 100% payment. Yet, nothing has been done.
It is what
the doctors are complaining that they don't have enough equipment, they don't have good infrastructure, and monies have been given out. Yet, we're not seeing anything. We're not getting something for what we are giving out. Right. And every day, our budget is being increased.
That's the reality. It's sad reality of where we are.
Very sad. Well, that'll be all from the Nigerian Tribune this morning.
All right, away from that, still on the headline segment, and this is the next one. Daily Trust. How 17 children died, 16 injured in Zamfara school fire. A lot to really talk about right now. But from let me move to, still staying with the Daily Trust for today. World reacts to Trump's bid for U.S. to take over Gaza Strip. World reacts to Trump's bid for U.S. to take over Gaza Strip. A lot is going on, you know. And I think at this point, somebody needs to rein in Donald Trump to say, please, can you slow down?
Oh, okay.
On all of those things.
You're finally agreeing with me.
Yo, I'm not agreeing to anything. If it's about America, I don't have issues with them. Let them handle their business. But when you say, as a country, you are going to take over
another country,
a part of another country, because you think that's the right thing to do, you are going to intervene and all of those things. I'm not sure the world runs that way. That's it. If it's Trump and all of his stuff in America, that's their business. Let them handle it. World reacts to Trump's bid for U.S. to take over Gaza Strip. By the way, he's thinking about it. He's talking about it. But then, if and how he will act on it is another thing. Now, Tinubu raises 2025 budget to 54.2 trillion naira. CBN restricts BDCs to $25 FX weekly. CBN restricts BDCs to $25 Forex weekly. And Senate, sack of 3 regs. The president sought their sack like a day ago, and now the Senate has said they can go home. I'm not sure if reasons were given for that particular situation. But the main story here is one that is written boldly, which is quite an unfortunate one. And how 17 children died, 16 injured in Zamfara school fire. You know, you can't even imagine what has happened here to future leaders. And the manner was, so many questions people will want to ask. Was the school, that particular place that it happened, that building, was it locked? Did it happen in the night? Was it an explosion? Was it a fire that started somewhere and then spread to somewhere? What? It's a lot, actually. 17 children died of a fire and 16 are injured. And then you can see the wreckage there, the ruins of that particular incident in Zamfara State. The issue of fire is a lot. Actually, what are we doing wrongly? What are we doing rightly? from tanker explosions to this particular one to explosives going off. I think in school it happened towards the end of last year.
Yeah,
it's a lot. We need to do better as a people.
But it was early this year. They said he came back from the holiday,
from a trip, and then brought an explosive to school, and boom, it killed him and the person sitting next to him. I don't know what we are going to do, but we need to do better. We can't keep losing lives and having avoidable deaths here and there. That will be all from the Daily Trust. For our thoughts and prayers are with the families of those that have lost their loved ones. You know, you can't. That's why I started with that. You can't imagine. Don't say I can imagine. If you have never lost a child, or you have never experienced somebody a loss through fire, you know, the parents, that this kind of a thing doesn't really come with closure because they can't say. Many of them will be blaming themselves. Why did they allow him? Why did they allow her? Perhaps there is one or two of them who were saying, "Mommy, I won't go to school." I don't want to go, That voice will keep ringing in their head, and they might be blaming themselves for being responsible. So many questions. Where were the teachers? Where were the porters? If actually it was a boarding school. So many, because we learned it's only the children that died. Where were the adults that are supposed to look after them? You know, it's a lot, actually. But then our thoughts and prayers are with the families, the school as well, everybody involved that has lost their loved ones in this particular fire. We hope that stops, you know, and God will give them the solace to bear these irreparable loss at this time. That will be all from the Daily Trust.
And straight to the punch, we have 54 trillion naira budget. Experts divided over raise. Federal government adds 4.5 trillion naira agri infrastructure funds. And the rider there we have President submits reviewed budget, MTEF to NAS. Federal government votes small funds for BOI others. Okay. Now we have Tinubu demands school safety as fire kills 17 in Zamfara Islamic School. You can actually see the picture there of the school and some of the pupils. Some of them in bandages. These are the injured ones that are being taken care of. It's a lot. It's really a lot. You can't even begin to imagine.
You can't.
We have Edo Tribunal. INEC lists 5 witnesses over government poll. Okay. Nollywood filmmaker jailed 5 years for drug trafficking. Okay. Ogun assault. Falana receives elderly victim, plans charges against remanded monarch. Ogun assault. Falana receives elderly victim, plans charges against remanded monarch. And we have PDP secretary, Wike Camp kicks as board of trustees backs governors. PDP secretary, Wike Camp kicks as board of trustees backs governors. And we also have secession. Nigeria didn't learn from civil war, says Dogara. Secession. Nigeria didn't learn from civil war, says Dogara. Transporters, NLC chapters, TUC reject highway tolling. Transporters, NLC chapters, TUC reject highway tolling. Okay. I think the expert we talked to yesterday said the government should be called out. I think this is a right step in the right direction. Most Nigerians would actually be happy that this is coming up, because you can't imagine and probably if it's going to be like the Lucky toll gate that for every time you pass you have to pay. What if it's something like that? So imagine for every time you use or you apply that route, you have to pay a certain amount. Right. It's going to tell a lot. But the fact that already the money we are making now is not even enough, and you're about to start thinking of how to start bringing out something out of the small portion you have
remaining
to be giving out for tools. How? Well, it's a right step in the right direction. Please keep it up. Now we have the last story from the Punch this morning. We have Dangote Refinery FCCPC differ as NNPCL insists on fuel imports. Okay. Dangote Refinery FCCPC differ as NNPCL insists on fuel imports. And the writer that we have, refinery exports jet fuel to Saudi Arabia. Oh. Okay. So this is about PMS. It's always really interesting when it gets to PMS because it's something that everyone is involved in. We all use it. So, well, we'll wait to see the end of the story. Somehow I might be able to talk about, we should be able to talk about it well tomorrow, but that is why you need to stay tuned and don't go away. Always follow us.
Right. That'll be all at this point. We'll take a break. We'll be back.